Earth Systems 3209, Unit 2, Historical Geology. References can be found in the textbook in Chapters 6, 8, Appendix A, and Appendix B. Unit 2, Topic 1.1, focuses on Uniformitarianism versus Catastrophism. In this presentation, we will focus on recognizing that uniformitarianism is a fundamental principle of geology and contrast this principle with catastrophism. When we look at historical geology, science is the investigation of ideas. Throughout history, scientific ideas, known as paradigms, change as new evidence is discovered regarding scientific models and theories. These changing ideas were demonstrated through geologic history. One notable change that formed the framework for geologists was the movement from catastrophic ideas to uniformity, hence the birth of the principle of uniformitarianism. You can find information in the text on page 5 and 6. The doctrine of catastrophism states that throughout Earth's physical history, Earth's physical features, such as mountains, canyons, and almost all landforms, formed by sudden spectacular events called catastrophes. These were produced by unknowable causes that no longer operate and cannot be explained by nature. This idea was put forth by Archbishop James Ussher. These ideas attempted to fit the rate of change of Earth's processes into a relatively young aged Earth. Scientists at that time thought the Earth was only millions of years old and not billions of years old as we have calculated today. This is not to say that catastrophic events do not occur today. Some catastrophic events that occur on a yearly basis would be tsunamis, earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, just to mention a few. When we look at the principle of uniformitarianism, one idea that helps scientists better understand the processes acting on Earth is the idea of uniformity, and hence the principle of uniformitarianism. This idea was first recognized by a Scottish geologist named James Hutton, and he provided the framework which divided geologic time. After years of studying landforms and rocks, Hutton came to the conclusion that the present is the key to the past, and that the physical, chemical, and biological laws that operate today to shape Earth also operated in the past. Let's look at an example where we can compare catastrophism with uniformitarianism. A question that can be asked is, how would the ideas of catastrophism and uniformitarianism explain the formation of the Grand Canyon? As seen in the picture, the Grand Canyon is an erosive landscape feature found in the United States. This feature, according to catastrophists, would suggest that the canyon formed by a sudden event. There would be unknowable causes. They wouldn't be able to explain the reason. And basically it could be unexplained. And a catastrophist would suggest that it occurred over a relatively short period of time. In comparison, a uniformitarianist that looked at the canyon would say that the canyon formed by gradual change and occurred by uniform processes, and the change occurred over a relatively long period of time. Example number 2. Let's look at some multiple choice questions taken from past public exams. First question: which suggests that major features are the result of sudden disasters on unknowable causes in Earth's past? In this question, we're looking for major Earth features that result from sudden disasters of unknowable causes. And these two characteristics coincide with the idea behind catastrophism? So the answer to question number 1 would be A. Question number 2 states, which states that the basic laws of nature have remained unchanged since Earth was created. The key word here is the basic laws of nature have remained unchanged, suggesting that the laws that affected the Earth in the past also affect the Earth in the present and will continue to affect the Earth in the future. This principle, as put forth by James Hutton, is known as uniformitarianism. Therefore, the answer to question number 2 would be D, uniformitarianism. Example number 3 states, based on the information below, answer the question that follows. The statement below reads, the Earth has been covered by giant combinations of continents called supercontinents many times in the past, and it will again one day in the distant future. The next predicted supercontinent may form when the Americas and Asia both drift northward to merge, closing off the Arctic Ocean. The question asks, identify and explain a concept that scientists could use to support the idea suggested in the question above. In the quotation above, it suggests that continents are drifting in a north direction, and they will close off the Arctic Ocean, and all continents will again join as one big supercontinent. To answer this question, we can look at the idea which supports the concept of uniformitarianism. Uniformitarianism explains that the same geologic processes that were occurring on Earth in the past are still occurring on Earth today, and will continue to occur on Earth in the future. Therefore, if we look at the formation of supercontinents in the past, they will be formed by the same processes that are occurring today, and these processes can potentially form a supercontinent in the future. So if we look at point 2, which supports the answer, it says Earth has experienced tectonic forces which were responsible for the formation and destruction of supercontinents in the geologic past. Since these same forces are still occurring today and will occur in the future, then this can be concluded that there will be once again a big supercontinent in the future. And if the supercontinents are moving in a north direction and the Indian Ocean closes, therefore the next supercontinent may be positioned over the Arctic. Your turn. Take the time and complete the following question. The question reads, with the aid of a specific example, explain how uniformitarianism can be used to understand past catastrophic events. When we look at this question, the question reads, with the aid of a specific example, explain how uniformitarianism can be used to understand past catastrophic events. So these 3 points must be addressed in your answer. So you can pause the video now and prepare your answer, and the solution will follow. The solution to the question again focuses on the principle of uniformitarianism. The principle states that processes that acted on Earth in the past are still acting on Earth today and will continue to act on Earth in the future. Therefore, catastrophic events which occur on Earth today, for example, earthquakes, which will be our example we're going to refer to, are caused by the same processes that caused earthquakes in the past. These forces associated with plate tectonics cause present-day earthquakes and are thought to be responsible for causing earthquakes in the past. So in this respect, the idea of uniformity, where forces that cause earthquakes today can also explain why past catastrophic events, such as earthquakes, would have happened in the past. Another question and solution that you can refer to reads, two hikers sit on a hilltop overlooking a steep-slotted river valley. One hiker explains the formation using uniformitarianism, while the other hiker uses catastrophism. Summarize each hiker's explanation of how the valley formed. To answer this question, if you look at the formation of the valley from a uniformitarianist point of view, the hiker that follows the uniformitarianism view would suggest that the valley formed over an extremely long period of time, perhaps millions of years, and was formed by physical forces such as erosion and weathering that have affected and shaped Earth over millions of years. So by the uniformitarianist point of view, we can see that the valley would form over extended long periods of time by slow, gradual forces that occur on Earth today and have occurred on Earth in the past. In comparison to a uniformitarianist view, a hiker that follows a catastrophic view would suggest that the valley formed over a relatively shorter period of time and was formed by some unexplainable, sudden event commonly called a catastrophe. Such an event could be an earthquake. In summary, when we look at the points presented by a catastrophist, the main points that a catastrophist would use to explain events that occur on Earth today he would say that it would be a sudden event caused by unknowable causes which we cannot explain, and it occurred over a relatively short period of time. This will put the age of the Earth in what those scientists had believed to be millions of years. Whereas the uniformitarianist would explain features on Earth that occurred gradually over time by uniform processes that occurred in the past, that occur today, and will continue to occur in the future. And these processes occurred over relatively long periods of time. And this idea of uniformitarianist would coincide with the Earth being billions of years old, which we have calculated by use of radiometric data to be 4.5 billion years old.